It's another morning. Your alarm goes off, but you're not ready to get out of bed. You have anxiety because it's another fucking day that you have to deal with this dread, with this heaviness, with this dark cloud over your head. You try to stay in bed as long as you can. And when you finally get up, you just feel heavy. You haven't showered. All you want to do is eat and sleep, and there's nothing you can do about it. I've been there. Depression is a bitch. And sometimes you just want to feel like shit, and that's absolutely okay. And that's what we're going to talk about today. My name is MystyMoon. I'm an integrative coach for women. My purpose is to help heal women physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And today we're going to talk about depression. We're going to get real about depression. So let's get to it. So sometimes there are days when you're so deep in your depression that you just want to feel like shit, where there's no affirmation, there's no motivational speaker, there's no podcast, there's no song, there's nothing that can get you out of it. And if anything, those things piss you off even more. And so I want to talk about those days. I want to talk about those moments where you're just in it and there's just nothing that can save you. And what I want to say to you when you're in that moment is just to embrace it. As hard as it is, as hard as it might, as sucky as it feels in that moment, you just have to embrace it. And I feel like that's one thing that we were like taught to numb our emotions or not feel the negative emotions. You know, we want to feel happy. Love and light, love and light. And love and light is great. But life is about duality. Life is about the light and the dark. And the more that we can exercise our emotional muscle to feel all the emotions, the more equipped that we'll be to get through it. And that's the thing when it comes to depression, you can't walk around it. You can't walk underneath it or above it. You have to walk through it. There's no other way. And of course, that's where the support comes into play. Having a therapist, having a coach, and having a group, to support you. But regardless of how much support you have, you still are in it. You still have to feel it. And so I want to talk about, again, those moments where you're just in it and there's nothing you can do about it. And then I want to give you permission. I want you to give yourself permission that if you need to sleep, sleep. If you need to have, those emotional foods, have those emotional foods. As long as you don't hurt yourself. And even if you feel like you need to hurt yourself, absolutely get help, but embrace that part of you that wants to hurt yourself. See, this is something that I've learned in my therapy. It's called eternal family systems. And it's a type of cognitive psychology, cognitive model within the field of psychology. And so what this model says is that we all have different parts within us. So you ever find yourself saying, yeah, part of me wanted to go out to that party, but I knew that I needed to stay home and study, or, God, I'm doing this cleanse right now, and a part of me really wants that, wants to have that cookie, but I know I need to stay, abide by this cleanse. And then sometimes you feel like you're conflicted with different parts of yourself inside. And that's because we all do have various parts. It's really fascinating research. Robert, I cannot pronounce his last name, Schwartz. What I was trying to say is Richard Schwartz. He is the founder of Eternal Family Systems. He was a family therapist, and what he noticed is that, while he was having his sessions with the mom and the dad and the brothers and sisters, that when he would speak to them individually, they would speak about their own internal process as if they were in family therapy. So what he realized that, we all have different parts. And the difference between a schizophrenic person and a non-schizophrenic person, a schizophrenic person, their trauma was so intense that they had to compartmentalize their parts. Or someone who's not, the parts kind of blend in with each other. And the parts all have a role. So For an example, for myself, I was suicidal. So instead of me shaming that part of me that was suicidal, I instead had started to develop a relationship with it. Why was there a part of me that was suicidal? And see, all the different parts within you are all there to try to protect your inner child. That's what they're all there for. So that part of me that wanted to check out because the pain was just so fucking intense that I couldn't take it anymore. And I wanted to check out because I didn't want to feel it. And but then, of course, while I'm feeling suicidal and while I'm feeling like I want to check out, there were other parts of me that was like, no, no, let's try to work this out. Life is not so bad. We have a lot going on for us. So there was like this inner conflict, right? So thank goodness that I found the therapist that I found and that I learned about internal family systems, because now I have been able to have a dialogue with that part of me that was suicidal and to hear it out, to understand why it was so overwhelmed. And that's the thing, like, and the reason why I'm bringing all this up is, again, to just accept wherever you are. Like right now you feel like shit. Right now you don't want to get out of bed. Right now you just want to like eat a bag of cookies. Right now you don't even want to shower. You don't even want to clean your house. That's okay. Be okay with that. It's going to shift. Life is filled with ebbs and flows. Don't shame yourself for being, because when you shame yourself, when you shame those parts of you that wants to sleep in, when you shame those parts of you that wants to emotionally eat, when you shame that part of you that doesn't want to take a shower, then you just perpetuate the vicious cycle. So instead, just be okay with where you are. And again, I can't stress enough that you do eventually want to get some help, because we can't, when we're in that state of depression, it's like we have tunnel vision. And we have tunnel vision because we're in that negative loop, those negative beliefs that I'm fucked. This is just my life. I'm always going to be depressed. I can't get help. I'm cursed, all these things. And when you're able to get help from people, from therapists, from coach, from groups, then they can help kind of wipe the dirt off of that wall so that light can start coming in, so that you can see there's more to than what your thoughts are. And then you realize that your thoughts are not true, and that's a process. But until you can get to that point, again, I just want to emphasize, just be okay with where you are. Be okay with it. Feel it, like really feel it, so that you can begin to analyze it. What is it that you're trying to tell me? Why am I feeling these things? What's the lesson here? So it's just another perspective to add to your healing. I really thought that I was fucked. 30 years I dealt with depression. 30 years. And I just, even with, studying psychology and being a health coach and a yoga instructor and eating healthy and all these things, I was still depressed. And it wasn't until I really started, I had to hit rock bottom. And then I had to get help. I have a therapist, I have a coach. And now that I have the support, now I can really start using the tools that I learned as a health coach and as a holistic health practitioner. Because it's one thing to know something, but it's a different thing to embody it. And so now, in addition to me using the affirmations, knowing that I'm literally shifting the brain chemistry through the affirmations, through being aware of my negative thoughts, in addition to having my therapist, in addition to having a coach, in addition to, eating healthy, now the true shifts can happen. But another thing too, I have to say, is that I needed to go through what I went through. Perhaps maybe the reason why that I couldn't get out of depression 3 years ago, because I wasn't supposed to. It wasn't my time yet. Because I also feel like there's a spiritual aspect to depression as well. I really truly believe that we choose our destiny, that our soul wanted to go through these lessons in order for us to evolve into the next dimension. So in hindsight, I can see that. When you're in it, you're probably like, fuck you, I didn't choose this, but if I would have heard that when I was in the depth of my depression, I would have thought the same thing. But I believe that on a lot, because now that I'm on the other side, looking back, it all makes sense now. And again, we're talking about 30 years of having to heal depression. I haven't felt depressed in I don't know how long. I don't even remember what it feels like now. Like I have difficult days, but I don't go to those dark places anymore. I feel it was like this demon that was in me that I finally was able to exercise out of my body. So I'm just letting you know that it's possible. Okay. So I hope this resonated with you on some level. I just wanted to speak from my heart and from my own experience. So I'm sending you so much love and so much light into your day. And also, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm just here to share information to help you on your healing process. And this is all coming from my heart. Okay. Take care. Peace.